How to beat the Korlok Tyrant. Disclaimer, some of this is theoretical thinking and not officially tested. So, the Korlok Tyrant weed. How do you beat it? Well, here I will discuss some strategies with you. Let's go. Basically, I'm going to want to start this off by showing you the wiki page. So, species Korlok biome all, category boss, space health 3000. This is the main part. Resistances. Electricity 50%, explosive 30%, weaknesses melee 20%. It's got no immunities, it's got no weak points, and it's got unbreakable armor when it's closed. It's immune to heat, and it's immune to cold, which means temperature shock tactics do not work against this thing. That sucks. Even throwing freeze or heat grenades won't work against this thing. Now, the sprouts. Weak point headaches 2. Resistances, electricity, explosives. It's got less resistance. It's got the same resistance as the core, but it's got less resistance than the core, and it can actually take burning damage. Alright, so it burns and it freezes. Freezes faster than it actually burns, which is interesting. I'm not sure if that's something that's constant. But basically we see head, melee 100%. So this boss is really, and it's interesting, it's actually, the thing is actually weak against fire and frost. The sprouts, it's almost the opposite of the Korlok. The healing pot is like in between in terms of the resistances and weaknesses. So you're gonna want to actually probably have, if you have like a driller, probably gonna want to assign them to sprout duty and killing the sprouts mainly instead of focusing on the tyrant. However, everybody should be focusing on the tyrant, and I think the C4 from the when the tyrant opens, everybody should be focusing on it. That's something that everybody should be doing. So then we got this. We got the hazard level, we got the health scaling. So the thing, this is interesting, I never knew this before. The thing actually scales with player count and hazard level. So you got the hazard level 5, which is 2100, hazard level 4 to count, which is 2100, hazard level 3 is 2700, this is 3000. So it doesn't scale like this, like the sprout. The sprout actually scales more like this, while the sprout scales like this, kind of scales like this. This tyrant scales almost like really horizontal-ish. If you're in a two-man, going in and suicide bombing with See You in Hell is actually a very viable trick. You can go in, if you just want the thing dead, if you just want the thing dead and it's got a little bit less than a third of its HP, and a two-man here, it's a very viable trick. However, I wouldn't try it if it has anything more than 2100. If it's like the 2700s, I wouldn't try it just because the chance of you dying is too high, and then nobody will be able to get you up because of the sprouts. Because you won't insta wipe the the sprouts. Maybe you are. Unfortunately, yeah, you will insta wipe the sprouts, but the thing is, the sprouts will regrow and reseed, so nobody will be able to get you up, and there's too high of that risk. But if it's got 2100 health, if you're in one of these, two-man has 4 or 5, or two-man has 3, it works well. Now, the problem is they've got resistance to electricity. One of the main parts to See You in Hell is the fact that it has a lingering electricity field. Well, these things don't experience fear, and they don't experience electricity. However, the driller, since it's melee, it seems like this thing is both focused and not a driller thing. If you've got Berserk, I recommend going in there with Berserk and every time you get it. Now, another thing I want to mention is the weak points on the heads. This is a balancing act between shooting the head of the sprout and not shooting the stem of the sprout. See, because the head takes 2 times the damage, which means it takes 2 times the shots to take the sprout out of commission. But if you shoot the stem, the thing dies entirely, and the Korlok has to reseed it, as opposed to here, where it just recrolls on itself. So it's a balancing act. If you want, you're gonna want to shoot the stems of sprouts that are inside like your position. But if it's not inside your position, it's by the weed, and that you might as well just focus on shooting the head. The healing pod, these guys are really dangerous. You're gonna want to focus on taking these guys out. An interesting thing about them, they don't heal if they're frozen. So if you got freeze grenades and there are like a bunch of healing pods in one area, bam, you can just temporarily take them out of commission. Not only that, but they take extra damage when they're frozen, just like anything else. So temperature shock on these healing pods and these sprouts is an effective tactic. The only problem is the radius of the incendiary grenade isn't amazing. So I've got the stats for the reason I'm talking about See You in Hell is I've got the stats for the guy in here. Come on. Here we go. Type damage 666. Pure, I don't know what that means. Oh my god, what the frick was that? Alright, the full damage radius is 4 meters, so about, in the fight where I had it, that's about enough to take out like four sprouts. Damage radius is 4.5. Okay, stagger, 33% chance to stagger. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna review what I did and what I failed against the Korlok Tyrant weed. So I think it's this one. Alright, this is a test. It's a test to see my microphone. I'm gonna get off the proc here. Yeah. Now open, please. Here we go. Okay. So here we're strategizing. See, in this mission, we had the chance to take it out from a distance. The problem is when you take it out from a distance, you miss a lot with your guns when the Korlok weed opens. And also the Korlok weed doesn't actually open. Well, it doesn't open a lot. It doesn't open as much because you're tap firing. The thing opens when when every Korlok sprout and every healing pod dies. Dying includes the head is just cut off. So it's going to take longer for the thing to open, and you can also bait the thing. You can just take out all the heads except for one, and that keeps it from healing itself, and you can put the boss on pause, which is something we should have done instead of what we actually did. As you can see here, the thing comes after me. I made a fatal mistake around here. Me or new, we got too close to the thing, and the thing started attacking us. Once you started it, there's no stopping it. It will keep attacking you until the end of time, or the end of the mission. You can see we're going around here. But we were discussing what to do around here. There's a swarm. But then we decide eventually that this ridge is a good idea. What you're going to want to do when you fight the Korlok Tyrant weed is you're going to want to go on a ridge. You're going to want to have lots of ammo, and you're going to want your machine to be on peak performance. See, another problem here, and why we probably failed, is I kept having FPS drops. Where my FPS would go to like 1 for like 5 seconds. When you fight these guys, you're going to want to make sure your machine is on peak performance. If you've gotten performance issues previously in the same game, or a couple of games earlier, go into your machine. If you've got something like Norton, they have machine cleanups. You can do a machine cleanup that really speeds up your machine. So you can see your FPS drops. You're going to want to have ammo, a bunch of ammo, 2 supply drops worth of ammo at least in all your guns. See here we were down to like 2 and we only had 1 drop. That was a mistake fighting the thing. We should have searched out the other cave, gotten more nitro, came back to this, and then fought the thing. Then we would have had more drops. And it would have just been a better time. See here I only had like half the ammo at GK2, which is the main damage dealer, since my Uzis have the cryo lens. So now the thing opens, and instead of shooting it regularly, I do that, which is a large mistake. Another problem with using freeze grenades in the glacial strata is because you get cold a lot, and so if you throw a freeze grenade and you miss throw up, bam, you're frozen, your teammate's frozen, you're screwed. can see I took a lot of damage from that. There we go, I'm shooting around. I'm jumping around, I'm using good movement, I haven't taken a lot of damage, but then a swarm comes in. And at this point, you know, we fight through the swarm. And then, you know, we keep fighting, blah, 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 blah. But we go back to fighting the Tyrant Weed. Instead of grabbing more nitro, instead of grabbing more ammo, we go back to fighting the Weed. Another thing real quick, the Korlok Tyrant Weed health is split into 3 parts. You can also tell if it's healing by this symbol right here. But, once one of these health bars is depleted, the healing pods cannot heal back one of these parts. So if it's down 2/3, the healing pods can only heal up to 2/3. If it's down to less than 1/3, it can only heal up to 1/3. So that's an interesting thing to know. I didn't know that, and so I learned that from the wiki. One of those healing, you're gonna want to discuss with your teammate what healing pods are if they don't know anything about the Korlok. You're gonna discuss what the sprouts are, where to shoot them, what the Korlok Tyrant Weed looks like when it's open. And you're going to want to discuss how prioritizing the Korlok Tyrant Weed when it's open is the first thing you should go for, prioritizing the Korlok healing pods, and then prioritizing the sprouts. Now, I could use one of my freeze grenades, but I didn't have any. This is a part where temperature shock would have been useful, because as you can see, there's a bunch of them clustered up right there. Fire grenade, and the freeze grenade, and the freeze grenade, and temperature shock and such that. Korlok Tyrant Weed doesn't take any form of damage when it's inside the shell. Doesn't matter. But see here, we take it down really freaking low. That was good moves, but then it all starts going downhill somewhere in here. Mainly because I think the swarm comes and we don't bother taking out that healing pod. You didn't really know that you should be going to the healing pods a lot. So that basically sucked. But I'm trying to find the see, there's an FPS drop right there. There you go. The things about there are a bunch of shoots right near our position. But I'm trying to find the part where we kill. There we go. It should be right here. So here, this sprout was too close. So I shot for its head. Right. I was in a bad position. Prioritizing the healing pod because it was already a max health. But instead of shooting at its stem and ignoring its head because the stem takes up its head as well, I shot at the head and then shot at the stem, which is a bunch of wasted ammo. It's like, huh? So anyways, this is how you beat the Korlok Weed. You find a good position, a ridge where you can shoot down on it and back up anytime you need to. You make sure your PC is good performance-wise, and you make sure you have 2 supply drops at least worth of ammo. If you do not have enough ammo in your main damage dealers, you will not be able to beat this thing. Do not try temperature shock against the Tyrant Weed. You can do it against the sprouts, but it isn't extremely effective theoretically because of how spread out they are. If the thing is, if you're in a 2-man has 5, 2-man has 4, you can theoretically suicide bomb the Korlok Weed if it has its health and you're at low health. And if you've got Berserk, you're going to want to go in there with your power attack and power attack the crap out of it, and power attack the crap out of the sprouts because they have 100% weakness to melee damage. Anyways, that's about it, guys. Beating the Korlok Tyrant Weed, it's very simple. It's dedication. You gotta prepare, and you gotta prioritize the Korlok Tyrant Weed when it's open and the healing pods. Shoot the stems of the Korlok Weeds if they're too close to your position. And good luck. Have a nice day, guys. Please like and subscribe if you can. And join my Discord down below. To be honest, subscriptions and Discord members are the only statistics I care about.